Hey, so I wanted to jump on here to make a video because I can't seem to find a video anywhere on YouTube. I have an Airdoctor 83,000 and I ran into a little bit of an issue because I've got children and they're very fascinated by this unit inside the house. And she dropped the paintbrush down into the inlet portion of the fan. It got stuck in the fan, made a noise, went over to it right away and unplugged it. And it was still making the noise as I unplugged it. So I didn't think anything of it, like nothing was wrong. It just got, caught in there and we should be good, right? So I took the little paintbrush out and put it back together and tested the unit again, plugged it in the wall, and all that happened is I turn it on, the red light comes on as usual, then it went to blue, but yet none of the components are working, none of the fans working, the speeds or anything else like that. It's almost like it has no power. And so I was at a loss, so I find myself fairly handy. So before I tore the unit apart and did something that was irreversible, I called the company and I explained to them what happened. My daughter put a little paintbrush down in there, got stuck in the fan, made a small groove in the fan, but I mean structurally there's nothing wrong with it. It would work just fine. And so they sent me through this list of troubleshooting, and the very first thing was, well, have you plugged the unit in? And I said, yes, I've plugged the unit in. And they said, okay, have you plugged the unit in a different location? I'm like, yeah, I have plugged it into a different outlet to see if it was my outlet, but I have a GFI outlet there and it shows whether it's on or off, so I know that was just a waste of my time. And then I explained to her again what happened, and she puts me on hold and then comes back and says, well, your air filters are bad, let's send you new air filters. I'm like, I'm not spending money on new air filters. They're not even timed to be replaced yet. And I don't see how air filters would stop this machine from working, right? And so she then says, well, those are the only two troubleshooting things we have. And based on my purchase date, which has only been 3 years ago, that my unit was out of warranty and there's nothing she can do for us, and you just have to throw the unit away and buy a new one. Now, they have no parts department, they have no technicians that can send you through troubleshooting to test any of this stuff. So me being a DIY guy, and I fix a lot of things, I'm at my shop, I've got lots of things that I fix, and I fancy myself as someone that can usually figure it out. And so I just have a hard time throwing away $600 plus unit and just being done with it when it could be something as simple as a circuit board or a motor or something like that, right? So then I just proceeded to take it completely apart and look at it, and it wasn't the easiest thing to do because of the way they have the interlocking pins on the inside of this thing, but it's done, it's taken apart. And so what I found out is I've got power coming from the plug, going into the circuit board, then traveling over to the controls that are up here, and all of them work, they all turn on, everything looks like it would work just fine up here in front. But then that information doesn't go back and go to the motor. Now, I've also taken this and unplugged it from the circuit board and tested just the black and the red to see if I've got some power going to this and seeing if it would just turn on by jumping it. And I've done that. I've jumped it and the motor's still not working. So I kind of figured that I have a bad motor. But then when I go to the actual plug and test the actual prongs where the black and the red come in, I have no power coming there either. So I'm thinking I have a bad circuit board. But they have no parts, no service, no technician, to where, hey, I just send me a new one of these and we'll be good, right? So I'm kind of really disappointed in the fact that you buy a $600 machine and you have to throw it away after 3 years. There's no way to troubleshoot it, no way to buy parts. I mean, I could possibly buy this motor. I can't buy the same motor. It's a fairly common motor that's used in HVAC systems. So I could probably find something that would work, but you can't even buy this from them. And so it's very frustrating for me as a guy that can fix things, that kind of understands most things, and a father, family of 5. This is not a purchase that I can just every 3 years decide to make again. Yeah, I understand my daughter stuck something in there, but there is no safety guards, there is no switches. There is no thing in there to where if this was to get jammed up, it would shut it down automatically. A reset switch or something like that because it put too much torque on the motor. There's nothing like that. There's no safeties for that issue whatsoever. So unless you have no kids and you live by yourself or with some other person that has the capability of not putting something down the fan, you're pretty much screwed if you have kids. So I was just really disappointed in the fact that I called the company, they absolutely cannot help me. And the fact that I have scrounged YouTube to try to find someone that has taken this apart to troubleshoot it. I honestly think that they have taken all those videos off of YouTube because there isn't a single thing on there that tells you what to do next or how to test this or how to test that. Because if there was, I wouldn't be making this video. And I could have fixed it and put it back in my house and it would have been just fine, or ordered the parts I needed. Anyways, wondering if anybody else has this struggle. I'm not dissing on the unit. The 83,000 has been an amazing unit that we've had in our house, but all you can find is the reviews from doctors and everything else like that, and nothing to say, you know, yeah, my kid dropped something in there, how do I fix it? There's nothing like that. So it's really disappointing that the company cannot help me in any way, shape, or form besides to tell me to buy a new unit. And just wondering if anybody's had the same issue, because I'd hate to throw away a unit that maybe just needs a $69 motor. I'm hesitant to buy it because, one, it doesn't come from the company, and two, I think I've got all the measurements right to where I could possibly get it 100% correct, but then it's a non-returnable item. It's not like it's on Amazon. So once it comes here, I'm stuck with it, and if it doesn't work, then I have a $69 paperweight. Anyways, hopefully this gets to somebody that understands the frustrations of this unit, and maybe it will make the company make something to where if something falls in there, it sets off a reset switch or something in there, a safety device or something to salvage not having to buy another $600 unit. Anyways, tell me what you think. Tell me if anybody else has had these issues. And if you have had these issues, did you fix them? How'd you do it? How'd you test it? Anyways, thanks for the rant.